I'm here with Top Nutritions to break down a topic that's super important for your health: food additives. We see them everywhere, but most of us don't really know what they are or what they're doing to our bodies. Think about it. When was the last time you actually looked at the ingredient list of something you ate? It can be pretty overwhelming, right? All those long, complicated names. Well, today we're going to decode those labels together. We'll uncover the truth about these hidden ingredients, from artificial colors and flavors to preservatives you can barely pronounce. More importantly, I'm going to give you the knowledge to make informed choices about what you put into your body. This isn't about scaring you, but about empowering you. So stay tuned, because this is some seriously important stuff for anyone who eats, which is all of us. Let's start with something we can all relate to: color. We eat with our eyes first, right? The visual appeal of food can often be the deciding factor in what we choose to eat. That's why food companies load up processed foods with artificial colors to make them look more appealing. These vibrant yellows, reds, and blues might seem harmless, but they're actually derived from petroleum. Yes, the same stuff we use for fuel. These dyes are in everything from candy and cereal to yogurt and sports drinks. Studies have linked these artificial colors to behavioral problems in children, like hyperactivity and attention deficit issues. And it's not just kids. Adults can experience negative effects too. Such as headaches and other discomforts. So, next time you're reaching for that brightly colored snack, think twice about what you're actually putting into your body. It might be more about marketing than nutrition. Companies use these colors to catch your eye and make their products stand out. Ever wonder how those packaged foods manage to stay fresh on the shelves for months or even years? You can thank preservatives for that. These chemicals are added to prevent spoilage and extend shelf life. These chemicals prevent bacteria and mold growth, extending shelf life but potentially impacting your health. One common culprit is BHA and BHT, found in everything from potato chips and crackers to breakfast cereals. While they keep food from going rancid, studies have linked them to potential health risks, including cancer. Another preservative to watch out for is sodium nitrite, often used in processed meats like bacon and hot dogs. While it gives those meats their characteristic pink color and flavor, sodium nitrite can form harmful compounds called nitrosamines in the body, which have been linked to an increased risk of certain cancers. Remember, the goal of food companies is to sell products, and a longer shelf life means less waste and more profit. But that longer shelf life might come at the expense of your health. It's a trade-off that consumers need to be aware of. Let's talk about flavor enhancers, those sneaky additives designed to make food taste irresistible. MSG, or monosodium glutamate, is a prime example. It tricks your brain into thinking food is more savory and delicious than it actually is. While the FDA considers MSG safe in moderate amounts, many people experience adverse reactions like headaches, sweating, and even numbness after consuming it. It's often hidden in savory snacks, soups, and sauces. Always check the labels if you're sensitive to it. Then there are artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose. They promise guilt-free sweetness but often come with a host of potential side effects, from digestive issues to metabolic disruptions. These are found in diet sodas, sugar-free desserts, and even some yogurts marketed as healthy. Remember, real food doesn't need a laboratory to taste good. Fresh, whole foods are naturally delicious and nutritious. Opt for naturally flavorful options whenever possible. Fresh herbs and spices can add incredible taste without any harmful additives. Now let's talk about one of the most dangerous food additives out there: trans fats. These are created when liquid oils are turned into solid fats through a process called hydrogenation. Why do food companies do this? Because trans fats increase shelf life and add a desirable texture to processed foods. The problem is they're incredibly harmful to your health. Trans fats raise your bad cholesterol levels while lowering the good kind, significantly increasing your risk of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. They're lurking in fried foods, baked goods, margarine, and many processed snacks. The good news is that awareness about trans fats has increased, and many food manufacturers have removed them from their products. But it's still crucial to read labels carefully, as some products might still contain small amounts. Always be vigilant about what you consume. Let's talk about your gut, often referred to as your second brain. It's home to trillions of bacteria that play a crucial role in digestion, immunity, and even your mood. But here's the thing: many common food additives can disrupt the delicate balance of your gut microbiome. Artificial sweeteners, for example, have been shown to negatively impact gut bacteria, potentially leading to digestive issues like bloating, gas, and even more serious conditions like irritable bowel syndrome or IBS. Emulsifiers, often added to processed foods to improve texture, have also been linked to gut inflammation. These chemicals can damage the protective lining of your gut, potentially leading to leaky gut syndrome where undigested food particles and toxins leak into your bloodstream. Remember, a healthy gut is essential for overall well-being. By reducing your intake of processed foods and their additives, you can help support a thriving gut microbiome. Now let's talk about inflammation. It's your body's natural response to injury or infection. But chronic low-grade inflammation is a silent threat that can contribute to a wide range of health issues, from heart disease and diabetes to autoimmune disorders and even cancer. And guess what? Many common food additives can fuel this inflammatory fire. Artificial colors, preservatives, and flavor enhancers have been linked to increased inflammation throughout the body. Take artificial sweeteners, for example. While they don't directly contain calories, studies suggest they can disrupt your body's metabolic processes, leading to insulin resistance and inflammation. Remember, chronic inflammation is like a slow burn that can damage your cells and tissues over time. By reducing your exposure to inflammatory food additives, you can help dampen this fire and protect your health. Let's dive into the world of hormones. These chemical messengers regulate everything from your mood, sleep, and metabolism to your reproductive health and stress response. But here's the catch. Certain food additives can mimic or interfere with your hormones, disrupting this delicate balance. These endocrine disruptors are particularly concerning when it comes to reproductive health. Bisphenol A, or BPA, is a prime example. This chemical, found in some food packaging, can leach into food and beverages, potentially impacting fertility and increasing the risk of certain cancers. Phthalates, another group of endocrine disruptors commonly found in food packaging, have been linked to hormonal imbalances, thyroid dysfunction, and even developmental issues in children. Remember, your endocrine system is complex and interconnected. Protecting it from harmful additives is crucial for maintaining hormonal balance and overall well-being. You might be surprised to learn that your diet can significantly impact your mental health. And yes, you guessed it, those sneaky food additives can play a role too. Studies have shown links between artificial colors and hyperactivity, anxiety, and even learning difficulties in children. While more research is needed, some experts believe these additives can interfere with neurotransmitters in the brain, affecting mood and behavior. Artificial sweeteners, while often marketed as a healthier alternative to sugar, have also come under scrutiny for their potential impact on mental health. Some studies suggest they can disrupt the gut-brain axis, potentially contributing to mood swings, depression, and anxiety. Remember, your brain thrives on nutrient-dense whole foods. By minimizing your intake of processed foods and additives, you can support optimal brain function and emotional well-being. Alright guys, we've talked about how common food additives are and their potential impact on your body. These additives are found in almost everything we eat, from snacks to full meals, and their effects can be far-reaching. But now, let's dive into the hardcore science. It's time to uncover what the research really says about these substances. We're going deep into the research, the studies, the evidence that links these additives to some serious health problems. This isn't just surface-level information, we're talking about peer-reviewed studies and comprehensive research. We're talking about chronic diseases that affect millions of people. These are conditions that can drastically alter the quality of life and even shorten lifespans. We're not just throwing around theories here, we're looking at the data, the facts, the studies that have been done to understand the real impact of these additives. This is about evidence-based conclusions. This is where things get really interesting and honestly a little scary. The implications of these findings are profound and can be quite alarming, but knowledge is power, right? The more we know, the better equipped we are to make choices that benefit our health. So, let's equip ourselves with the knowledge we need to make informed decisions about our health. It's about taking control of what we put into our bodies. Stay with me as we break down these complex scientific findings into easy-to-understand explanations. We'll make sense of the jargon and technical details. It's time to separate fact from fiction and understand the true cost of what we're putting into our bodies. This is about getting to the truth. One of the most concerning areas of research focuses on the link between certain food additives and an increased risk of cancer. This is a topic that has garnered a lot of attention and for good reason. Now I know the word cancer can be scary, but it's important to understand the science behind it. Knowledge can help us navigate these concerns more effectively. Research suggests that certain additives, particularly artificial colors and preservatives, may interfere with our cells' normal growth and function. This interference can have serious consequences. This disruption over time can potentially lead to the development of cancerous cells. It's a gradual process that can have devastating outcomes. For example, studies have shown a possible link between the consumption of processed meats containing nitrates and nitrites and an increased risk of colorectal cancer. This is a significant finding that can't be ignored. These additives are used to preserve color and flavor in processed meats, but they can form cancer-causing compounds in the body. It's a trade-off that comes with serious risks. We've also seen studies indicating a potential connection between certain artificial food colors and an increased risk of childhood cancers. This is particularly concerning given the vulnerability of children. Now, these studies don't necessarily mean that these additives directly cause cancer in every single case. It's about understanding the potential risks and acting accordingly. However, the evidence is strong enough to warrant serious attention and further investigation. We can't afford to ignore these findings. We need more research to fully understand the extent of these risks, but it's crucial to be aware of the potential dangers lurking in our food. Awareness is the first step towards change. Remember, knowledge is power. And by understanding these risks, we can make more informed choices about the foods we consume. It's about taking proactive steps for our health. Let's talk about hormones, the chemical messengers that regulate so many crucial functions in our bodies, from growth and development to metabolism and reproduction. These are vital processes that keep us functioning properly. Emerging research suggests that certain food additives, particularly those known as endocrine disruptors, can interfere with our delicate hormonal balance. This interference can have wide-ranging effects. These endocrine disruptors can mimic or block the actions of our natural hormones, throwing our bodies into disarray. The consequences can be severe and long-lasting. For example, studies have shown that bisphenol A or BPA, a common additive found in some plastics and food packaging, can leach into food and drinks. This leaching can lead to significant health issues. BPA has been linked to a range of hormonal issues, including reproductive problems, thyroid dysfunction, and even an increased risk of certain types of cancer. These are serious concerns that need to be addressed. Another group of endocrine disruptors to watch out for are phthalates, often found in plastic food containers and wraps. These chemicals are pervasive and hard to avoid. Phthalates have been linked to developmental issues in children, reduced testosterone levels in men, and increased risk of insulin resistance and obesity. The impact is broad and concerning. The scary part is that these endocrine disruptors often exert their effects at very low doses, making it even more important to minimize our exposure. Even small amounts can have significant effects. We need to be aware of these hidden dangers and take steps to protect ourselves and our families. It's about making informed choices and reducing risks. Our metabolism, the complex system that converts food into energy, is another area where food additives can wreak havoc. This system is crucial for our overall health. Research suggests that certain additives may disrupt our metabolism, leading to weight gain, insulin resistance, and an increased risk of chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes and heart disease. These are serious health issues that can be life-altering. For example, artificial sweeteners, often marketed as healthier alternatives to sugar, have been linked to metabolic dysfunction. This is a surprising and concerning finding. While they may not directly contribute to calorie intake, studies suggest that they can interfere with our body's natural ability to regulate blood sugar levels and may even lead to increased cravings for sugary foods. This can create a vicious cycle of poor health. Furthermore, some emulsifiers, commonly used in processed foods to improve texture and prevent separation, have been linked to alterations in our gut microbiome. This is an area of growing concern. These alterations can disrupt the balance of bacteria in our gut, potentially leading to inflammation, metabolic issues, and even an increased risk of obesity. The gut microbiome is crucial for our overall health. The bottom line is that these additives can have far-reaching consequences for our metabolic health, contributing to a cascade of negative effects that go beyond simple weight gain. It's about the overall impact on our health. By understanding the impact of these additives on our metabolism, we can make more informed choices to protect our long-term health and well-being. It's about taking control and making better choices for a healthier future. Alright guys, we've talked about the scary stuff, the potential health risks of these common food additives. Now, let's empower you to take control of your health. Knowledge is power, and knowing how to read food labels is your first line of defense. It's like having a secret weapon in your health arsenal. The truth is, food manufacturers sometimes use tricky tactics to disguise these additives. They might use complicated chemical names that most people wouldn't recognize, or they might break down an additive into smaller components and list them separately, making it harder to spot the total amount. This can be especially confusing when you're in a rush. But don't worry, I'm here to break it down for you. We're going to demystify these labels and give you the tools to identify those sneaky additives lurking in your food. It's simpler than you might think. Once you know what to look for, you can make informed choices about what you put into your body. Remember, it's your health on the line, and you have the right to know exactly what you're consuming. So, let's equip you with the knowledge to become a savvy label detective. First things first, let's talk about some of the most common culprits, the repeat offenders you'll find on ingredient lists. These are the ones you want to be extra vigilant about. We've got artificial sweeteners like aspartame, saccharin, and sucralose. They might sound appealing because they promise sweetness without the calories, but remember our discussion about potential metabolic disruptions? These sweeteners can sometimes do more harm than good. Keep those risks in mind. Then there are artificial colors, often listed as yellow 5, red 40, and so on. These are purely for aesthetics, adding nothing in terms of nutrition, and we've already seen the potential links to behavioral issues and even cancer. It's a high price to pay for a bit of color. And let's not forget about trans fats, often hiding under the guise of partially hydrogenated oil. These are the worst kind of fats, known to raise bad cholesterol and increase the risk of heart disease. It's crucial to avoid them whenever possible. Now let's talk strategy. When you pick up a packaged food item, don't be intimidated by the ingredient list. Remember, the fewer ingredients the better. A long list of unpronounceable chemicals is a red flag. Pay close attention to the order of ingredients. They're listed in descending order of quantity. So if an additive is listed first or second, it means the product contains a significant amount of it. Look for words like natural and artificial flavors. These are often umbrella terms that can hide a whole cocktail of chemicals. Manufacturers aren't required to disclose the specific components of these flavors, and be wary of buzzwords like sugar-free and fat-free. These products often compensate for the lack of one ingredient by adding others, which might not be any healthier. Always read the fine print. Here's the good news. Once you start paying attention to food labels, you'll be amazed at how quickly you can identify these hidden additives. It becomes second nature, like a sixth sense for healthy eating. Remember, knowledge is power. The more you know about what's in your food, the better equipped you are to make choices that support your health and well-being. Don't be afraid to put products back on the shelf if you see something you don't like. There are always healthier alternatives out there, and we'll be discussing some of those in the next chapter. You are in control of your health. By becoming a savvy label reader, you're taking a proactive step towards a healthier and happier you. It's a journey worth embarking on. Okay, so we've tackled the scary stuff, learned how to spot those hidden additives, and now it's time for the fun part, discovering delicious and healthy alternatives. Let's talk food swaps. The golden rule of thumb is to opt for whole, unprocessed foods whenever possible. Think fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains, foods that are naturally vibrant and packed with nutrients. Remember, these whole foods don't need a long list of ingredients because they are the ingredients. They're naturally delicious and provide your body with the essential vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants it needs to thrive. So, ditch the processed snacks and prepackaged meals, and let's rediscover the joy of cooking with real, wholesome ingredients. Let's get practical and talk about some specific food swaps you can make in your everyday life. Remember, small changes can make a big difference over time. Instead of sugary cereals loaded with artificial colors and flavors, start your day with a bowl of oatmeal topped with fresh fruit and nuts. It's a fiber-rich, nutrient-packed way to fuel your morning. Swap out those processed snacks like chips and cookies for a handful of almonds, a piece of fruit, or some veggie sticks with hummus. These are all naturally satisfying and provide sustained energy without the added sugars and chemicals. And when it comes to beverages, ditch the sodas and sugary drinks and opt for water, unsweetened tea, or sparkling water with a splash of lemon or lime. Your body will thank you for it. Now let's talk about conquering the grocery store. It can be a battlefield of tempting treats and cleverly marketed products, but with a little strategy, you can navigate it like a pro. Stick to the perimeter of the store. This is where you'll typically find the fresh produce, lean proteins, and dairy products. The inner aisles are where the more processed and packaged foods tend to lurk. Read labels carefully, even on products that claim to be healthy. Remember our label reading tips from the previous chapter? Don't be fooled by buzzwords and marketing claims, and don't be afraid to ask questions. If you're unsure about an ingredient or a product, don't hesitate to ask a store employee for clarification. Remember, making healthier choices doesn't have to be about deprivation or drastic changes. It's about making gradual, sustainable swaps that add up over time. Don't beat yourself up if you slip up occasionally. Every day is a new opportunity to make healthier choices. Focus on progress, not perfection. Celebrate your small victories. Each time you choose a piece of fruit over a cookie or opt for water instead of soda, acknowledge and celebrate that choice. Remember, you are in control of your health. By making conscious decisions about the food you eat, you're investing in your long-term well-being. So, there you have it, the scary truth about food additives and, more importantly, the tools you need to make informed choices for yourself and your family. Remember, it's not about living in fear of every ingredient or becoming obsessed with reading labels. It's about empowering yourself with knowledge. The food industry is complex and it's easy to feel overwhelmed, but by understanding the potential risks of certain additives and learning how to identify them, you're taking a proactive step towards protecting your health. You have the power to make choices that align with your values and support your well-being. Don't underestimate the impact of those choices. Now, taking control of your health goes beyond just reading labels. It's about advocating for change within the food industry as a whole. Support companies that prioritize transparency and use clean, recognizable ingredients. Vote with your dollars and show them that there's a demand for healthier options. Contact your elected officials and voice your concerns about food additives and labeling practices. The more people who speak up, the more likely we are to see positive change. And remember, knowledge is power. Share this information with your friends, family, and community. Let's work together to create a food system that prioritizes health and well-being. Changing your eating habits and adopting a healthier lifestyle is a journey, not a destination. It's about making gradual, sustainable changes that you can stick with for the long haul. Don't be afraid to experiment in the kitchen, try new recipes, and discover delicious and healthy ways to nourish your body. Cooking at home gives you greater control over the ingredients you use. Listen to your body and pay attention to how different foods make you feel. Everyone is different, and what works for one person may not work for another. Find what works best for you. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. Surround yourself with a supportive community, whether it's friends, family, or a healthcare professional, who can encourage and guide you along the way. At the end of the day, your health is your most valuable asset. It's an investment, not an expense. And like any investment, it requires time, effort, and conscious decision-making. By choosing to educate yourself about food additives, you're taking a proactive step towards protecting that investment. You're becoming an informed consumer, a savvy label reader, and a champion for your own well-being. Remember, every bite you take is either fighting disease or feeding it. Choose wisely, my friends, and invest in your health. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more health tips and information. Stay healthy and informed.